Marilyn Monroe was more than a movie star. She was a global icon, a symbol of beauty, charm, and mystery. But behind her dazzling smile and captivating screen presence lay a life filled with pain, betrayal, and tragedy. Even after her untimely death in 1962, rumors and urban legends about her life and her afterlife have continued to haunt Hollywood. One of the most chilling and enduring legends claims that Marilyn's spirit still lingers at the Roosevelt Hotel in Los Angeles, where she once stayed for extended periods during the peak of her fame. Staff and guests have reported seeing her ghost in the hotel's mirror, and some have even claimed to feel her presence in Suite 1220, her favorite room. The legend goes that Marilyn loved the Roosevelt because it was one of the few places where she could escape the constant pressures of fame and feel truly herself. It's said that after her death, her spirit returned there to seek solace from the chaos that defined her final years. Visitors have described sudden cold drafts, flickering lights, and the unmistakable sound of soft humming, supposedly Marilyn's voice echoing through the halls late at night. Some guests have sworn they saw her reflection behind them, only to turn around and find no one there. Over the decades, her ghost story has grown so much that it has become a selling point for the hotel, attracting paranormal enthusiasts and curious fans from around the world. But the legend doesn't stop at the Roosevelt. Rumors persist that Marilyn's restless spirit has been seen wandering the halls of her former Brentwood home, where she tragically passed away. Neighbors have reported ghostly figures in white, standing at her old windows and hearing unexplained weeping at night. Others believe that Marilyn's ghost appears on film sets, especially when actresses who idolize her perform, almost as if she is watching over them or perhaps longing for the stage and camera she once commanded so effortlessly. Some even claim that her ghost has tried to communicate, urging people to uncover the truth behind her mysterious death, which remains surrounded by conspiracy theories involving Hollywood elites, the Kennedys, and possible foul play. These stories have only added to her myth, turning Marilyn Monroe into more than a legend. She has become a ghostly symbol of Hollywood's dark side, a beautiful dream forever trapped between glamour and tragedy. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the tales of Marilyn's spectral appearances continue to fascinate and chill those who hear them. They serve as haunting reminders that behind the bright lights of Hollywood lie countless stories of broken dreams and lives cut short. Marilyn Monroe's ghost story is more than just an urban legend. It's a tragic echo of the loneliness and pain she carried in life, forever wandering the places that once felt like her only escape. When people think of cursed films in Hollywood, no legend is more infamous than the story behind the Poltergeist movies. Released in 1982, Poltergeist quickly became a horror classic, with its terrifying depiction of a suburban family haunted by vengeful spirits. But what happened off-screen was even more chilling than the supernatural events in the film. The urban legend of the Poltergeist curse began when people started to notice an alarming number of untimely and tragic deaths among the cast and crew. Most famously, Heather O'Rourke, the young actress who played Carol Ann, died suddenly at only 12 years old due to complications from a misdiagnosed intestinal issue. Her sweet face and haunting line, "They're here," became iconic, and her death shocked the world. Another cast member, Dominique Dunn, who played the older sister Dana, was murdered by her ex-boyfriend shortly after the first film's release. These tragedies fueled rumors that the set itself was cursed, and people began to scrutinize every detail of the production. One of the most disturbing claims was that real human skeletons were used during the infamous swimming pool scene in the first film, because they were cheaper than creating realistic props at the time. This revelation, whether fully true or exaggerated, only added to the film's eerie mystique and cemented the idea of a curse. Cast and crew members later spoke of strange accidents, unexplained equipment failures, and an overwhelming sense of dread that hung over the set like a dark cloud. Some believed that disturbing these resting skeletons brought on a wave of bad luck and attracted angry spirits. Actor Will Sampson, a Native American spiritual leader who appeared in Poltergeist 2, even performed an exorcism on the set to cleanse it of any evil presence, though many claimed the bad energy persisted regardless. Over time, other minor cast and crew members experienced bizarre accidents, illnesses, and personal misfortunes, further fueling speculation. The cursed legend grew with each new installment of the Poltergeist series, and even today it is widely discussed among horror fans and paranormal enthusiasts. The idea that a film about angry ghosts could bring about real-life hauntings and death feels like a terrifying script come to life. While skeptics point to coincidence and the natural risks of life as explanations, those who believe insist that the deaths and strange events are too many and too connected to ignore. The Poltergeist curse has become a cautionary tale in Hollywood, a dark reminder of what can happen when certain lines are crossed in the name of entertainment. Whether it's a series of tragic coincidences or a genuine curse, the legend of Poltergeist continues to terrify and fascinate new generations of film lovers. The set's legacy is not just one of cinematic achievement, but also of deep, unsettling mystery, and it remains one of the most whispered about stories in Hollywood's haunted history. Natalie Wood was one of Hollywood's brightest stars, captivating audiences in classics like Rebel Without a Cause, West Side Story, and Splendor in the Grass. Her talent, beauty, and vulnerable on-screen presence made her a beloved figure throughout the 1950s and 1960s. But it was her shocking and mysterious death in 1981 that cemented her place in Hollywood's darkest legends. Natalie drowned off the coast of Catalina Island while on a weekend boat trip with her husband, actor Robert Wagner, and her co-star Christopher Walken. The circumstances surrounding her death have been the subject of endless speculation, rumors, and conspiracy theories for decades. According to the original story, Natalie had gone missing from the yacht Splendor during the night after an evening of heavy drinking and arguments. Her body was later found floating in the water, wearing only a nightgown and a down jacket. The coroner ruled her death an accidental drowning, but questions immediately arose. Why would she have tried to leave the boat alone at night? How did she end up in the water without anyone noticing? And what exactly happened in the hours leading up to her disappearance? Friends and insiders revealed that Natalie had a lifelong fear of deep water, making it unlikely that she would have willingly left the safety of the boat, even during a heated argument. Over the years, suspicions grew around Robert Wagner's involvement, fueled by conflicting statements and the presence of unexplained bruises on her body. In 2011, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the case, citing new witness statements and evidence. By 2018, Wagner was officially named a person of interest, though no charges were ever filed. The legend surrounding Natalie's death suggests not just a tragic accident, but a possible cover-up, adding a chilling layer to her legacy. Some believe there was a violent argument that turned deadly, while others think it was a tragic mishap that spiraled out of control. Whatever the truth, the unanswered questions have only intensified the fascination with her story. To this day, Natalie Wood's death remains one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries, a case shrouded in secrets and sorrow. Her tragic end has overshadowed her brilliant career for many, transforming her into a symbol of lost potential and the dark undercurrents of fame. Fans continue to visit her grave, leaving flowers and notes, many of them expressing hope that one day the truth will come out. Hollywood itself has become a character in this legend, portrayed as a place where glamour and tragedy often go hand in hand. The haunting questions around Natalie Wood's final night remind us that even the most glittering lives can end in shadows, and sometimes the brightest stars leave behind the darkest mysteries. Her story is not just an urban legend, but a heartbreaking chapter in the ongoing narrative of Hollywood's complicated relationship with truth and illusion. James Dean was one of the most iconic figures of the 1950s, embodying the spirit of youthful rebellion and raw charisma in films like Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant. His tragic death in a car crash at the age of 24 only added to his legend, freezing him in time as a symbol of lost potential and untamed energy. But beyond the sadness of his early passing lies one of Hollywood's most chilling urban legends, the curse of James Dean's Porsche, known as Little Bastard. Dean purchased the Porsche 550 Spyder in 1955, a sleek silver sports car that perfectly matched his rebellious image. Actor Alec Guinness, who saw the car shortly after Dean bought it, famously told him that the vehicle looked sinister and predicted that Dean would die in it within a week, a chilling prophecy that proved true just days later. On September 30th, 1955, Dean crashed the Porsche on a California highway and died instantly, cementing his status as a tragic icon. However, the legend did not end with Dean's death. After the crash, the remains of Little Bastard were purchased by George Barris, a famous car customizer who intended to sell the parts. That's when the strange and deadly incidents began. When the car was being transported, it slipped off the trailer and broke a mechanic's leg. Later, the engine and drivetrain were sold to two different racers. One driver was killed during a race, and the other was severely injured when his car mysteriously locked up and crashed. Other parts from the Porsche continued to cause accidents and injuries wherever they went. Even static displays of the car brought misfortune. At one point, the California Highway Patrol borrowed the wreckage to use in a safety exhibit, but the garage where it was stored mysteriously caught fire and burned to the ground. Later, when displayed in Sacramento, the car reportedly fell off its mount and broke a teenager's hip. The legend grew with each incident, and many began to believe that Little Bastard carried a curse that extended far beyond James Dean's own tragic fate. Some say the curse was born from Dean's intense energy and his bond with the car, while others think it was a manifestation of collective grief and superstition. Regardless of the explanation, the story of the cursed Porsche remains one of Hollywood's darkest and most enduring urban legends. Eventually, the remains of the car disappeared mysteriously during transport in 1960 and have never been found, adding yet another layer of mystery to the already eerie tale. To this day, car enthusiasts and Hollywood historians still search for the lost pieces, hoping to uncover the final chapter of the legend. James Dean's legacy as a cultural icon remains powerful, but the story of Little Bastard serves as a haunting reminder of the potential consequences of our obsessions and the mythic aura that can surround both stars and their possessions. The legend continues to fascinate new generations, fueling books, documentaries, and endless speculation. Whether the curse is real or just a series of tragic coincidences, it has secured its place in Hollywood folklore as one of the most spine-tingling and unforgettable stories ever told. Our final legend takes us to one of the most famous landmarks in the world, the Hollywood sign, perched high above Los Angeles and symbolizing the dream of fame and success. But behind the bright image of opportunity lies a much darker and more tragic story, one that has haunted the sign for nearly a century. The most chilling urban legend surrounding the Hollywood sign centers on the ghost of Peg Entwistle, an aspiring actress whose real-life tragedy became an eerie symbol of Hollywood's dark side. In the early 1930s, Peg Entwistle moved to Los Angeles full of hope and determination, dreaming of becoming a star on the silver screen. She had already experienced moderate success on Broadway, and her transition to Hollywood seemed promising. However, as she began auditioning for film roles, the reality of the cutthroat industry hit her hard. After landing only a small part in a single film, her dreams quickly turned into despair. In September 1932, at just 24 years old, Peg climbed up to the Hollywoodland sign, as it was then known, and tragically jumped to her death from the top of the letter H. Her body was found 2 days later, and in her purse was a suicide note expressing her deep hopelessness and disappointment with her failed dreams. The news shocked the city and became a grim cautionary tale about the price of fame and the harshness of the entertainment industry. Almost immediately after her death, stories began to circulate about her restless spirit haunting the Hollywood Hills. Hikers and nearby residents have reported seeing a ghostly figure in a flowing dress wandering around the sign, often described as looking lost and sad. Some say they have seen her vanish suddenly into thin air or disappear into the fog that rolls over the hills at night. Others have felt an unexplained coldness or the sensation of being watched when walking near the sign, and many believe it is Peg's spirit forever tied to the place where her dreams ended. Park rangers have also shared stories of encountering the apparition, describing the scent of gardenias, Peg's favorite perfume, lingering in the air with no explanation. Over the years, Peg Entwistle's story has become woven into the fabric of Hollywood legend, a haunting symbol of broken dreams and the darker side of the industry's relentless pursuit of success. Her ghost is said to still look out over the city she hoped to conquer, a silent witness to the countless others who come to Los Angeles with stars in their eyes. For some, her spirit serves as a tragic warning to those who chase fame without understanding the emotional cost. The story of Peg Entwistle and the Hollywood sign stands as one of the most enduring and chilling urban legends in Hollywood history, a tale that reminds us that behind the glitz and glamour, there are countless unseen struggles and untold stories of loss. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the legend of Peg Entwistle continues to captivate and chill the imagination of anyone who hears it, echoing through the hills and the bright lights below. Her legacy lives on as both a cautionary tale and a ghostly presence that keeps watch over Hollywood's endless cycle of hope and heartbreak.